I now present Commissioner Dr. Maria Elena Giner.
So good afternoon, everyone. You know, it's really an amazing sight to see all of you here because, believe it or not, I live and breathe this every day, and I have butterflies in my stomach. It's like the final exam. I've been studying all week. I've been studying for this, preparing for this since day one when I arrived at the IBWC. And here we are today in celebration of what we have today is the launch of the rehabilitation and expansion of the South Bay International Plant. This project is going to rehab a very vulnerable plant. It's going to expand it, double the capacity. And it's going to result in environmental improvements that this community deserves. I want to thank our partners. And as someone who has worked with Congress for over 20 years, our congressional delegation, Congressman Jacobs, Congressman Levin, Congressman Vargas, Congressman Peters, Congressman Isa, I mean, the collaboration that you had to do to get this funding, I wish I could have been a fly in the room. It's a heavy lift. This agency, for decades, the entire construction budget for the entire border was $32 million a year. It's a heavy lift to get us up to the levels. This last year, we got $125 million. It's not easy. It is a strong fight, and I'm very grateful to the members of Congress. EPA led this fight. They received the original $300 million for this project, and the State Department. Our budget is housed within the State Department, and so I definitely want to recognize the role that they have played. So last August, we announced the contract for this entire project, the design and the construction. That first phase was for $42.4 million, which covered the project design, and it was awarded to PCL Construction, the team of PCL Construction and Stantec. Why is that important? Because we as the government, it's important for us to be innovative, efficient with taxpayer dollars, and we awarded this contract as a progressive design build. This allows for design and construction to be done in parallel. It will save time, it will save money, and it will mitigate the risk so that we have no delays in our schedule. This is a win for the San Diego community. And all of us here, all of you in the audience, want this plant expanded as soon as possible. So here we are today to celebrate the first of 3 early work packages that will prepare the plant for the construction. This first package includes setting up a bypass system for the primary facilities and performing in-depth structural assessments of the concrete structures. Normally, you would wait until after the design, then you'd bid it, and then you construct it. But that is the beautiful aspect of this progressive design. We can do all of this in parallel. This will be followed by concrete repairs early next year. Once the assessments are completed, we move to the replacing urgent mechanical equipment in the grit facilities. Then our next early package will be site preparation, and that's where we start getting all of that heavy equipment that's going to start moving earth. We'll start preparing us for the major construction. And then the third early package is procurement of equipment that takes time to manufacture. I wish we could go to Lowe's and just buy what we need. We can't. It's got to be sourced, it's got to be manufactured, it's got to be built, and it's got to get here. So we'll be able to order that early so it gets here in time for construction. All of this work is done in parallel with design and will allow for construction to ramp up quickly. But this is one piece of the puzzle. And I'd like to recognize our colleagues from Mexico. ¿Se pudieran parar los de México, por favor? They are also working hard on their side. And in parallel to addressing urgent issues of their system, they are rehabilitating San Antonio de los Buenos. They've secured 40% of the funding needed to do the work that they committed to. So that we are all working hard to this. Collectively, what is the beautiful thing of this region? We are one border, one community, and our goal collectively is clean water, clean air, open beaches. And I recognize that the residents are frustrated, and these conditions are unacceptable, which is why I work harder for you. I am determined to get this project off the ground. I am determined to get those beaches open because that is the public amenity for all. We are working on 4 key fronts. This is one piece of that key front. The other front was having a wastewater treatment plant that was not meeting our own federal law. Unacceptable. And that plant between 2010 and 2021 only had $4 million worth of investment, and in 18 months we invested $31 million to get that plant, and we are close to meeting our time schedule order and to be coming back into compliance. We are also working with Mexico on their Minute 328 projects. We are grateful that they're transparent with their information, their communication, and they ask for help when they need it. And so they are a true partner. And finally, I want to recognize my counterpart, Commissioner Resendez, if she could stand up. We have 2 women leading this effort. There's a saying in Spanish, between the 2 of us, les estamos picando las costillas. We're poking them in the ribs. We are working collectively to understand why we're having transboundary flows and what we can do to eliminate them. And as you can see, because of the hard work that was done in Mexico, we went from 50 to 70 million gallons per day of flows in the river to less than 6. We're not done. We're not done. But this is all, it doesn't happen by magic. It doesn't happen because I wave a wand. I wish I were all that powerful, but I'm not. But all of these people working together, and I also want to recognize the IBWC staff who have been so passionate on this and will continue to work on this. Tomorrow we are having a citizens forum and we will all be there. But please know that I, as a commissioner, with the support of all of our great IBWC staff, are working hard for you to eliminate all of these transboundary flows. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Congressman Juan Vargas.
Very much. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias. Honor estar aquí con ustedes. Thank you and welcome to everyone here for joining us for this incredible launch. It's good to be here with my federal, state, and local colleagues, including the commissioner. And I think you're right. Now that 2 women in charge is going to get done. Now, if we can only do that for the nation, then we'd really be doing good, huh? That's what I'm thinking. I also want to thank Representatives Peters and Jacobs that are here, but also Levin and Isa. We've all been working together, and it's been a great group. We disagree on some things, but we don't disagree when it comes to helping San Diego. We work together, and I want to appreciate them very, very much. And again, the congressional delegation has been able to get $400 million. $400 million, that's a lot of money, almost $500 million. We're not done yet. Obviously, we have more to raise, and we have to do that, and we're going to do that, and we're committed to doing that. And that's why I appreciate my colleagues so much for this. I'm also very appreciative of Commissioner Giner. Her dedication to improve this plant has been incredible. When we first met, I was a little bit angry, not at her, because she was new, but because of the problem that we had here, and it hadn't been addressed in an appropriate way. And she said that she was going to put her heart and soul into it. And you know what? She did. She did, and that's why we're here today. And really, I want to thank you. You have been so involved. I appreciate you very much. I also want to thank the Mexican delegation that's here. I've had the opportunity recently to go to Mexico and to thank the outgoing president because he did care. AMLO cared. He wanted to get this done. And in fact, he was so anxious to get it done, he put the military in charge of the construction. But he wanted to get it done. And I'll be frank, that was the first time that I've ever met with the president of Mexico that wanted to get it done. I'd met with the previous presidents, and they weren't as excited. They said, we'll look at it. But this president said, vamos a hacer algo. Hicieron algo bastante, and they're planning to do much more. So thank you. Muchísimas gracias a ustedes. Les doy las gracias porque ustedes realmente están haciendo muchísimo en el otro lado. El presidente AMLO dijo que iba a cumplir y cumplió, y ya pude yo hace como 2 meses reunirme con la nueva presidenta, que todavía no era presidenta, y ella también dice que está muy comprometida para hacer una solución aquí permanente. Y por eso muchísimas gracias de nuevo a nuestros compañeros, nuestros amigos en Tijuana y en México. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que han hecho. Muchísimas gracias de nuevo por estar aquí con nosotros. The conditions here, though, are very difficult. There's no doubt about that. They've been horrific. And no one more than, I think, the mayor of Imperial Beach, Paloma Aguirre, says she's been like a pit bull since she's been elected. I hope you don't mind me calling you that, but she has been like a pit bull on this issue. Thank you. Your constituents, thank you. This community, thanks you. And the reason for that, unless we have support here locally, we can't do this. And that's why we have to show that the public here supports us and has to find that we have to find a solution. It's the only way we can get the money to finish this off. And so that's why I appreciate very much the advocacy from Coronado too, from everywhere, the city of San Diego. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Now, we have been able to get the CDC now to carry out a full study here because we're very concerned about the issues, not only the smell, but the toxicity, to be frank. And that's why it is very important to find out, what exactly are the health issues that we have today, because we have to cure them. We have to find a solution. And lastly, I'd just like to say this, that I think this launch is fantastic, and I am very excited about the team that's been chosen. I'm very excited about the progress that we're making. We also have to look beyond this, and that is Mexico, I know, is looking at reuse themselves now, the reuse of some of this water. And ultimately, they have to do that. They know that, we know that, because we have to do the same here in San Diego. We have to do the same. Most of our water comes, and most of the water to Tijuana comes from the Colorado River, is drying up. So we have to do reuse. We used to call it beneficial reuse. Now we call it different names, and that's fine. Clean water, whatever you want to call it. But that's the future. That's the future. We have to take this water, clean it up in such a way that we can reuse it again. And I'm hope that in some years, further up the road, we'll all be here saying that. Thank God that now we're reusing this water. So again, I appreciate very much all of you in the counties here to thank you very much for all the work that you've done. We appreciate you very much. And again, thank you. It's an honor to be here representing this community, and I think we're moving forward aggressively as this community deserves. De nuevo, muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes, especialmente los que han tenido que sufrir tanto la toxicidad que hay aquí, el problema que tenemos. Hay que arreglarlo. Let's fix it.
Congressmember Scott Peters.
Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for coming out to not just see this, but to experience it. It's something, huh? Imagine every day, right? For years now, I've called this cross-border crisis one of the most serious environmental disasters in the Western Hemisphere, and one that threatens everything from tourism, surfing, national security, and nature to general public health. Let me talk a little bit about some of the events that brought us here today. The problem hit its most recent pinnacle in 2017 when hundreds of millions of gallons began spilling across the border as infrastructure in Mexico failed. Spills that had been frequent but smaller became larger and every day. And that was different, and we had to act quickly. Now, when Juan and I first came to Congress in 2013, funding for the Border Water Infrastructure Program wasn't $30 million. The entire border region had a budget for infrastructure of $5 million. In its peak in 1997, the accounts had been funded at $100 million a year, but the previous Congresses had let the number fall to peanuts. So Juan and I, with the help of our colleagues in our House, I should say, Juan represents Imperial Beach and southern San Diego. I represent Coronado, the communities that are most affected by this directly. We work with our colleagues in the House and our senators to raise it up again. In 2018, we doubled it to 10 million. In 2019, 15 million, and then 30 million. And that may have been good progress in normal times, but after 2017, it was certainly not enough to address this crisis. We started pushing then U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer to support strong enforceable environmental mandates in our updates to trade agreements with Mexico. And in 2019, we had the chance to do just that. There was a new U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement, or USMCA, that was being negotiated, and President Trump needed Congress to approve the deal. That year, I personally participated in a U.S. Mexico parliamentary group attended by American and Mexican members of Congress and urged that we pass a new USMCA that also tackled cross-border sewage. We convened a meeting of our congressional delegation with Speaker Pelosi to encourage her to ask for funding to combat cross-border sewage as part of the approval of the USMCA. And then during the International Climate Conference, known as COP25, on the way back in the plane, she told us that she had been able to negotiate $300 million as part of to solve the problem, to be set aside for cross-border sewage. We followed this up with a minute treaty with Mexico. So the two countries signed an agreement that obligated each to do its part, including on the Mexican side, fixing the broken plant at Punta Bandera. And fortunately, that project is on track. We are hoping that it opens early next year, and that might provide some really immediate relief. Now, even after the infusion of cash from USMCA, we knew we'd still need more money to finish all the projects required on our side of the border, but we thought we had enough to expand and upgrade this plant at that time. EPA finished the environmental review and analyzed what needed to be done to the plant, and well, it felt like a terrible gut punch in 2023 when we got a call from Commissioner Hiner advising us that this was attributed to her predecessors, not to her, that the plant had not been maintained and is actually not treating 25 million gallons a day. It was treating no gallons a day. And we needed another $300 million. We'd only secured half of what we needed. It's famously hard for me to get me to lose my temper, but you did it. And we had some tough conversations, like I think Juan did too. But I have to say, Commissioner, you've been a breath of fresh air. I can't say enough about your talent, your dedication, and your optimism about this. And so we really appreciate your leadership, and you deserve a really strong thank you from us. So we got that tough news last year. We went back to work. And I want to say also, we engaged the help of the local mayors from Imperial Beach, from Coronado, from San Diego, local elected officials from the county, and the region, and activists who sent letters of support and made phone calls. We talked to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the governor, and the Navy SEALs community. I contacted every member of Congress who is a Navy SEAL. There are 7. They're all Republicans. They are not prepared to support all of President Biden's budget asks, but every one of them to a person said they'll support this fix because they remember what it was like to train in the water off Coronado when you had this condition, and they wanted to see it fixed. We also secured federal funding to pay our scientists at UCSD and San Diego State to show the health risks associated with the sewage, and all of that work to get the attention of people from Washington, D.C. to a problem that was 3,000 miles away. If this had happened in Chesapeake Bay, we wouldn't have needed this effort. It would have been the talk of the town. But to tell people what was going on and the quality of the damage that was being done took a lot of effort. And we were able, with the help of all these people, to secure another $110 million, which brings us to today. While this project will take time, it won't take forever to see the impact. Each phase will bring tangible improvements, and as Mexico completes its own wastewater treatment plant, which is expected to be operational this spring, we'll see further progress. I wish, and we all wish, we could move faster. But the reality is this plant doesn't get a break from the millions of gallons that flow through it every day. It's like trying to fix a crumbling bridge while traffic keeps traveling across it. It's an enormous challenge, but it's one we're committed to solving. So I want to thank everyone who's spoken up, who's advocated. Your voices have been rightfully and righteously relentless, and I look forward to continuing work alongside of you. We do need more money to finish the job, and I, working with my colleagues and with you all, will get it. I want to thank you also, to our contractors, the State Department, the EPA, Governor Newsom and his team, and President Biden, who've all been really helpful. There's more work today. There's more work ahead, but today we take a big step forward. We're very grateful. Congratulations and felicidades.
Congressmember Sarah Jacobs.
Well, hi, everybody. It is so great being here with all of you. I know we've all seen a lot of each other lately, and I think that's a good sign because it means that we're making bigger and faster progress than ever before to end this public health and safety crisis. So, Scott and Juan talked about how their districts are directly impacted. My district is a little bit different. After redistricting, I don't actually represent any of the South Bay, unfortunately. But, we often spend a lot of time in DC bragging about San Diego, bragging about the weather, about the beaches, about the food. But what I think is one of the most amazing parts about San Diego is that while I do not represent any part of the South Bay anymore, one of the #1 phone calls I get from my constituents is about this public crisis here, because San Diegans know that if any of us were dealing with this kind of constant flow of sewage and pollution and impacts to our health, that it affects all of us. And that is what makes San Diego such a special and amazing place. This is a reality for our community, for the service members who train in the water, for our small business owners with beachfront businesses, and for parents with young kids. And so addressing this crisis is one of the biggest priorities of our entire San Diego congressional delegation, from north to south, from east to west. We've brought home $400 million in federal funds for this crisis, and we're seeing that money make a tangible difference. When this project is completed, it will double the capacity of the South Bay plant, a big step forward in protecting our public health. And all of us here are committed to seeing this through. So we know there's more to be done, but we will keep showing up. We will keep fighting for more funds. We will keep shining a light on this crisis, and we will keep working with all of our domestic and Mexican partners to get this done and make sure no San Diegan has to deal with this public health crisis ever again. Thank you all so much.
EPA Principal Deputy Assistant Administrator for Water, Bruno Pigot.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to join you here today at the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant. Every time I visit the border area, and I've been here 3 or 4 times already, it's clear that our work and our partnerships are critical to achieving our shared vision of cleaner, safer environment. And everyone knows here that for over 1,000 days, Imperial Beach has been closed for one reason, and that is the flows from the Tijuana River. But more recently, flows were reduced by up to 70 million gallons per day to less than 6, and beaches were reopened. But having the beaches reopened should not be the norm. It should be the norm, not the exception. That's why Commissioner Hiner has been working to create a durable solution. And that's why EPA Administrator Michael Regan, Regional Administrator Martha Guzman, and I are committed to addressing public health and environmental concerns and impacts on residents here in San Diego County and our neighbors in Tijuana. Today, we're celebrating this big step toward a cleaner water future for residents, for businesses, for wildlife in and around San Diego. This project is made possible by approximately $300 million. Thank you, Congresspeople, for the work you've done, of EPA funding that has been transferred to IBWC. This investment will double the treatment capacity here at the South Bay Wastewater Treatment Plant. And through this project and complementary actions on both sides of the border, we can address this decades-old problem. There's a lot of work ahead, and EPA is committed to doing our part to sustain progress. I'd like to also acknowledge the careful coordination this month between EPA, IBWC, and our Mexican partners to reduce these wastewater flows that would have ended up in the Tijuana River. Mexico has rescheduled repairs for the international collector, and we're soon going to have that up and running. It's a great example of the close collaboration among EPA, IBWC, and the Mexican government that makes our work possible. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved in advocating for this expansion project. Congressman Vargas, Peters, and Jacobs have worked diligently to secure funding to help us reach this point. Local mayors and county supervisors have been tireless champions for their constituents. Residents have raised their voices and demanded action. And here at EPA, I'd like to especially thank our Region 9 staff. Tara, Julia, Tom Connors, Doug Lyden, Hector, Tomas, some of whom are here and some of whom could not be here today, Cherie Peterson as well. And I really want to highlight the work and leadership that's been done by Martha Guzman in her tireless efforts to secure funding for the repair and expansion of the plant to protect the residents of Imperial Beach who have been saddled with mellifluous odors, bad water quality in the beaches, and worked to provide solutions to those problems. In fact, without Martha's continued work at the State Department, at EPA, and in Congress, we wouldn't nearly be as far along as we are today. And for that reason, I just think it's really important to recognize Martha's work, but ask Martha to come up and just say a few words about the work we're doing and what's happening moving forward. Martha, would you care please to come up? I just want to say what a great leader she's been in EPA to ensure that we're providing great clean water and making progress on this area. Also, little known fact, Martha was a professional soccer player. Last night she was injured in a soccer game. She will not be playing for the rest of the season, but she is here and promises to come back next year for the champions.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you very much. Everything has been said really already. I wanted to just reiterate and highlight the partnership with the Mexican government and the level of engagement that we now have between our federal counterparts, which is something we didn't have when I first came into this role 3 years ago. And just to highlight the importance of the Mexican projects that were mentioned, International Collector, San Antonio de los Buenos, together those will treat approximately 30% of the problem. And one of the projects that was mentioned earlier by the congressman, both of them, and also earlier, was one of the major 328 projects, which is the recycled water projects. And if we tackle those projects together, also by funding with the BWIP and maybe augmentation there, is another 20% of the problem. So I just want to stress how much this is not a silver bullet. It's really all of those projects that were outlined through that tremendous public engagement process to get us to sustainable solutions that are going to need that ongoing operation and maintenance. So thank you very much for all of the partnership, but particularly want to highlight the engagement that the federal governments, both governments, have brought forward.
PCL Construction District Manager for the West Region, Ankur Talwar.
Frank. Thank you for the introduction, Frank, and thank you to all of you for being here today to celebrate the project launch of this transformative project at the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant. My name is Ankur Talwar. I'm proud to represent PCL Construction as we begin this significant journey. This progressive design build project will not only double the plant's treatment capacity, but will also provide cleaner, safer water for the communities both here in San Diego and across the border in Tijuana. With the ability to treat 50 million gallons of water every day and peak flows up to 75 million gallons, this plant will make a measurable difference in the quality of life for residents on both sides of the border. At PCL Construction, we understand the complexity and importance of a project of this magnitude. With decades of experience in wastewater construction and 30 years of building here in the San Diego market, we are uniquely positioned to navigate both the opportunities and intricacies of the markets. This local knowledge, combined with the expertise of our valued partners at Stantec, ensures we're fully prepared to deliver a successful and impactful project. Together, we are committed to rehabilitating and expanding this essential infrastructure while ensuring plant remains operational throughout the project. To our partners at Stantec, the U.S. IBWC, the EPA, officials, and everyone involved, we appreciate your dedication and hard work in making this project possible. We're excited to get started and look forward to the difference it will make for future generations. Thank you.
Stantec Consulting Services Senior Vice President and Director Design Build, Mike Watson.
Well, good afternoon to everybody in attendance. It's certainly an honor to be here today. It's been a long time coming, and there's vital need. My name is Mike Watson. I'm here representing Stantec. I'll serve as the designer of record for the project. A lot's been said about what we're going to do. What we don't talk about is behind the scenes, the teamwork needed to do that. The progressive design build model will help us achieve things that we couldn't do under normal design and build situations. I've been impressed today, as well as PCL, with the engagement and the passion and the leadership of the commissioner and her staff's team. This will allow us to sequence construction and design in such a way to save time, create early wins, resulting in improved water quality as we progress the design and construction of the project. This project will make a difference. Personally, for me, my son went to UC San Diego. He played water polo. He swam in the ocean. I remember him telling stories of me saying, "Dad, you know, my teammates would come back and they'd have skin irritation, they'd have eye infections, they'd have other ailments." That struck me 2 years ago. When I came out here and I visited the site, it struck me, this is why I went to school. Civil engineers, environmental engineers, we live to make these improvements to the community. We're excited about this project. It's just not another project for us, and we're here to get it delivered for the community. Thank you very much.
Now is the moment we've all been waiting for. We are going to unveil our roadmap to excellence. Commissioner Hiner and the congressional and EPA representatives media may want to come up here, be able to get a better view, and we'll wait for you.
Ready? ¿Ya listos todos? Sí. 1, 2, 3. So what we have here is an overview of the project, but
it's showing in blue what's being rehabilitated in order it's new. So there's a lot that's going to be ongoing at the plant, right? And so we're going to see a lot of activity while keeping the plant operating. So this is the work. I think now we're master of ceremonies. I don't have anything else to say, Frank.